Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cody Jensen, and today I'm going to talk with you about whether or not Colorado's decision to tax marijuana at a 25% rate will drive marijuana traffic underground. The 25% sales tax will consist of a 15% pot excise tax to pay for school construction, plus an extra sales tax of 10% to fund marijuana enforcement. This new tax is clearly for a good purpose, but will people continue to buy the already overpriced product? With this being said, we will cover three topics. The first being whether or not taxes could be used for more beneficial purposes. Secondly, whether or not the traffic sales ever left the underground. And third, what impacts legalizing marijuana has had in Colorado. So first off, the taxes will be used for two specific things, which I mentioned earlier, being construction for schools and law enforcement. In order to stop marijuana from being driven underground, the taxes could be used for more important things that appeal to the public. Things such as cancer research, road construction, demolition and cleanup of abandoned buildings and houses, higher education needs, bringing back subjects to schools such as certain sports that they couldn't afford any longer, art and music programs, and there's so much more. Kevin Sabet, president of Smart Approaches to Marijuana, stated that Colorado's pot market was intentionally linked to schools from the beginning, but in a careful way as to avoid schools' budgets becoming reliant on pot money. Don't you wonder why this type of decision was ever made? People may be more inclined to buy the marijuana at the extensive higher price for things they felt were important, and our kids' education is the most important of all. Their education is the future of this nation, no matter where the money comes from. Granted, you will never please everyone, but the majority counts. So the real question is, what will the money be used for once the agreed upon 1 year time limit is up for law enforcement and school construction? There has always been a legal distribution of marijuana that people now call the underground, and the government fears there always will be. The cost of an ounce of chronic from the underground is roughly $150 to $200. The price for an ounce of chronic at a dispensary is $400 to $450. This is before you put a 25% sales tax on the purchase. A lot of people may not be able to afford this kind of markup, and therefore turn to the underground to get their product. Also, according to News 9, the majority of the people buying this product at such a high price is the middle class. In order to minimize this cost, a cost management solution should be put into place. This would allow lower prices at the dispensaries, which in turn would pull in more customers from the underground. Colin Curry with Vice News wrote that as long as history shows us, people have always wanted more for less. This will never change, so we will have to strategically plan to overcome this. The kind of impacts marijuana has already had in Colorado have been huge, but slow. July 1st will mark 6 months since it became the first U.S. state to legalize the cultivation, possession, and sale of recreational marijuana for adults 21 and older. State officials initially predicted that Colorado would rake in $184 million in pot-related tax revenue by June 30th, 2015, and $150 million in the first year. Though tax revenue is steadily rising, numbers released by Denver-based pro-drug reform organization, the Drug Policy Alliance, now show the state's profits are lagging behind early projections. We now expect 40 million in tax revenues for the first year. We do expect, they say, they do expect as the industry gets larger in 2015 and 16, revenue will be higher than 2014. If the predictions are already off by more than 70%, how could they possibly think raising the taxes is going to help with a fear of people turning to the underground? To me, there just seems like a lot of flaws that could and probably will lead the people back to the underground if they are not addressed in a timely manner.